What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome on back to Dragon Age Inquisition. As always, if you're new here or haven't yet, please do subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and if you want to catch up on the rest of the series so far, go ahead and check the description below. I'll have the whole series down there in order for everybody. So after last episode, where we ended off with that super wholesome card game, we're going to check the war table real quick, and then I think maybe we will make another rounds on the Skyhold front. See who we can talk to and what we can do about that, and then we'll probably, depending on how that goes, head into a new area. So, Inquisitor, Sister Liliana's scouts were able to find a path for the Grey Wardens through the mountains. The Wardens were able to avoid most of the demons and saved most of their strength. As a result, we have located Marquis Buffon's secret stronghold deep in the Gomordan Peaks. The Grey Wardens continue to fight bravely, but they have suffered many losses. I recommend deploying them with care, lest we lose them entirely. So that's another big warning label there on the Grey Wardens. Let's try not to have them die out here. Inquisitor, we have Marquis Buffon trapped in her fortress in the Gomordan Peaks and are preparing to make a final assault. While we might earlier have ignored her transgressions in light of the greater threat to the world, it is good that we did not. Marquis Buffon's crimes go well beyond smuggling or illegal mining, and she has an ally in Lady Jeanette Lagaspe, who has come with Venatori mages to defend the Marquis. The Wardens have concerns about the Venatori using blood magic or their ties to Corypheus to influence their minds, but are prepared to follow your orders. We cannot delay for long, as demons in the mountains continue to harass our flanks. Please send your orders. Yours, Lieutenant Suzanne. If my scouts can find an alternative entrance, the Venatori may not have time to affect the Wardens. We've no choice but to send the Wardens in. They must be prepared to fight whatever the Venatori attempt. We'll send Liliana again. Let's try to find them every advantage that we can possibly get there. Destroy Adamant Fortress. This was the Chargers, right? Per my earlier recommendation, I'd like permission to send some of the Chargers to Adamant Fortress. The Inquisition already destroyed most of it. My troops can tear down enough of the rest that it doesn't turn into a stronghold for demons or Venatori, or whatever else is out here causing us trouble. Lieutenant Cremesius Aclasi. It took all our forces to break Adamant. I'd happily spare some men to ensure the safety of the Chargers. We will do that indeed. And that's a 2-hour mission, and I think Josephine still had, what, like 3 to 4 hours left on hers, so everybody's nice and occupied. Hopefully we can get the Grey Wardens through that assault on the keep in the Gomordan Peaks without too many casualties. And hopefully they can bring her back alive, so I can chop her head off at the throne room. I would like to get my lick back for the Wardens on that.
I've seen it infect people like a disease, and turn them to lyrium. How can it do that?
That's a good question. To tell the truth, we don't really know what that shit can do to a person, and I don't want to find out.
Well, we found out last episode, actually, that Red Lyrium is alive, and it has the blight. It's blighted, it's tainted, which means that it is some kind of living organism, which makes sense, right? But that also does open a whole bag of worms, since Templars and Mages consume it to power their spells.
My friend.
And their ability to fight.
I'd like to hear more about what you saw in your exploration of the Fade.
I would be happy to share it with you.
Tell me about the old ruins you explored.
I found in the Kokari Wilds a humble cottage far removed from any of the simple, chastened tribesmen.
Is that Morgan's
Trees and
house?
weeds had not reclaimed the home, nor did the chastened dare to come and steal the trinkets still remaining. It was empty, long abandoned, but the world feared that she might return.
Most certainly, that is Flemeth's house in the Kokari Wilds.
Tell me about the old memories you found in the Fade.
I saw a young Canary working in a simple kitchen, baking bread as she was ordered every morning. In every loaf, she broke the rules. She'd take a pinch of sugar and fold it into the center, like a secret, and this act of small rebellion brought a shining smile across her face.
We'll talk later.
Simple tiny bit of sugar in the loaf of bread. I'm sure a lot of people appreciated that without knowing they appreciated that too. A little bit of sweetness. We know the Canary likes sweet things from Sten's obsession with cookies.
The Inquisitor's work is never done, I see.
No rest for the wicked.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
I'm sure that's blood magic.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
I find it strange that your mages don't rule anything at all.
They find it strange too.
Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
Yeah, the mages all over the world are also quite confused as to why they don't rule.
What is the Magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
Everyone else. So if you're not a mage, you're nobody. And then there are just degrees of nobodies and somebodies among mages.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule, then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing?
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something else.
Hit the nail on the head, huh? Second-class citizens in a pack of piranhas.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah, that is true.
And did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
I take a big problem with this, obviously.
That's it? You don't question it?
In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family.
And be sacrificed on an altar of Dumat later in life, along with his family.
I think inescapable poverty is better.
Yes, I do.
At least they're free. They don't have slavery forced on them.
You think people choose to be poor and oppressed? I doubt it. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
I understand he's defending his homeland, but at the same time, the fact that he is willing to say, no, slavery's not that bad. I mean, if you're just poor and you want a chicken nugget, you can just sell yourself into slavery. Like, that's not... What if they were kitchen workers and cleaning staff without being slaves? What about that? Because that does happen to the poor and impoverished in the rest of the world, right? look, both sucks, and you obviously don't choose to be born poor, but you also don't choose to be born a slave, and there are far less advantages taken from you when you are just poor.
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion, too. Of course, what people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get
And what
into
exactly is a
sacrifices,
willing participant?
demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. And most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a Magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that Magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Yeah, so everybody does blood mage.
That's all I
Blood
wanted
magic
to
stuff there. And like he said about the whole
know. I should go.
Naturally.
willing participant in blood magic. What is a willing participant to him? Is that somebody who sold themselves into slavery for a better life for their family? Because, I mean, if he sees slavery as being willing participants of that, then what does he consider a willing participant of
always have time for
blood sacrifice to be, right? Yeah, button heads a little there with him. I'm not fond of his opinion on the whole slavery thing. And I understand that he wants to defend that it's his homeland, but Tevinter is a shithole. You can never convince me otherwise. It is absolutely a shithole. And it is to be condemned. And it should be condemned into the sea with the rest of the rubble of their empire. All the opinions of that ilk are the reason what got us the Blight in the first place, right? He's like, well, I never really considered the opinions of the slaves until I came south. It's kind of just the way it is. Although that does speak to the whole cultural incompatibility thing, right? To him, you only know what you're taught. And so if you are born and raised in a place with slaves, it's not that serious to you because, well, that's just the way that it is. It does speak to that.
The sight of you warms the heart.
That's enough for now.
We shall speak again soon.
Okay, so the only people I can imagine us having anything with here is probably Blackwall and Cullen, but I will go check. I'll just edit out the bits where we don't get anything.
They should have been born together, but instead they were bound by light.
I've heard about some oddities here in the keep. Was that you?
Yes, maybe. What was it?
Someone found a barrel full of misplaced daggers. Was that you?
They were safer there.
Safer than on someone's belt, where they could draw them in the heat of an argument.
They would have been sad later.
Someone is leaving peeled plums on the windowsill. It's attracting flies.
Spiders need to eat.
And spiderwebs help the healers.
And healers need something to treat infected wounds, like spiderwebs.
The plums are already dead. They don't mind helping.
Isn't this cool, the way that he can do all of this? The way that he is kind of like setting off a domino effect that helps people in an indirect way. I think this is super cool.
Can I assume you're responsible for the turnips that have shown up in the fireplaces?
They don't smell the same raw.
You needed that soldier to smell them, so he could die thinking he'd gone home.
He did go home.
Yeah, that's super cool. And you get all those little things, by the way, by just walking around Skyhold and hearing dialogue off in the background of certain things.
Can you explain how your mind works?
Yes?
Sometimes you say things that relate to other members of the Inquisition.
They remember me. Their eyes stick, some more. They want me to be. Varric is quiet inside. He pulls me more to hear, makes me a person, calls me kid, a friend.
Varric has a way of doing that to people.
Bright and sad, observes and accepts. Spirit self, seeing the soul, soulless, but somehow sorrows.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know?
Cole is very interesting. And we have an assassin hat there, but he's the only one that can wear that, but we'll take the gold. Yeah, Cole is a very interesting character, and I love all of his little dialogues there about how he's shaping events here. The more you walk around all this place, the more you'll find him doing little things like that. I think it's very cool. There's one with cats too, but I forget where to go for that. You just have to run around Skyhold and grab dialogue, basically, and then you can go back and talk to him about the things that you hear. I think it was these guys that were talking about the barrel of daggers that they found. I think we got that the last time we came to see Cullen. How are you holding up with the whole lyrium thing, Cullen? Better, I presume. He looks better.
I wanted to thank you. When you came to see me, if there's anything... This sounded much better in my head.
I trust you're feeling better.
Yes.
Is it always that bad?
The pain comes and goes. Sometimes I feel as if I'm back there. I should not have pushed myself so far that day.
I'm just glad you're all right.
I am. I've never told anyone what truly happened to me at Ferelden's Circle. I was... not myself after that. I was angry. For years, that anger blinded me. I'm not proud of the man that made me. Now I can put some distance between myself and everything that happened. It's a start.
You should be proud of yourself for the man you became despite it all, though.
You're a better person than you give yourself credit for.
I appreciate the thought, but I know who I am. Anyway, I meant to thank you, not trouble you further. You've enough to worry about. How are you holding up?
I'll feel better when we take down Corypheus.
As will I. He will not elude us forever.
Cullen is extremely solid. Couldn't think of anybody better to lead. I know I keep saying that, but for real though, like who else would be able to do the things that he's done with all this? He's definitely best in slot. The fact that he wanted to retire is an absurdity. I'm glad Cassandra managed to talk him off the ledge and bring that to my attention so I could help talk that off the ledge too. Because nobody could do it better.
Did you need something?
We can ask him some more about him.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
Do you think Templars should cease to exist?
No. I may have chosen to leave that life, but I respect those who remain. Magic ungoverned could tear the world apart. It's doing so now. Templars are trained and able to confront such dangers.
What would you suggest?
Some call the Circle a prison that can only breed resentment. Perhaps opportunities to work outside the Circle. A mixed military service or healers' clinics with Templar support. And there must be a safer way for Templars to leave. Templars can lose their memories to lyrium. Some call it a gift, to forget the failed harrowings, the demons. Some atrocities haunt me still. But to lose what good I can recall, I nearly lost my mind once. It is no gift.
I agree with what he said right there about the work leave, and putting them in the military might be good to teach everybody some discipline, but you would need Templar oversight in every single one of those projects, which means creating more Templars, which means you have to reestablish the order and feed more people more lyrium, so I'm not really sure about that.
Do you think that could work? Would people accept it?
Mages would be watched, but could pursue interests outside the circle. Neither freedom nor prison. I don't know.
You still regret the man you became after leaving Ferelden?
After the Ferelden Circle, I thought all mages were like the ones there. Knight Commander Meredith's methods were harsh, but they kept people safe.
I don't think she was wrong until she took the Red Lyrium. Once she got the Red Lyrium idol, she became wrong and paranoid, but she was right about everything. She was right about Orsino, too.
You've mentioned siblings. With everything that's happening, do you know if they're all right?
I've received word from my eldest sister. She was always good at tracking me down. South Reach has experienced the same chaos as everywhere else. My family is fine. Pray they remain so.
Your sister tracked you down? She didn't know where you were?
I let her know I was in Haven. She assumed I survived. It's not the first time. I may have neglected to tell her when I was transferred to Kirkwall.
Why?
I wasn't in a good state. I wanted only to leave. I received an angry letter about my disappearance 2 years later. For all her reprimands, it was a relief to hear from someone who knew me before the Blight.
The Inquisition won't last forever. What will you do when this is over?
To be honest, I hadn't given it much thought until recently. I'm not used to having so many possibilities.
That's all I wanted to know.
Another time, then.
Man, it is tragedy that the cast of characters from this game are not in Veilguard. Or maybe it's a blessing, actually, they're not in Veilguard. Given the writing quality in that game. But still, Cullen and Cassandra, all sorely missed in that game. Liliana, too.
You were there. I have to know what it was like. The colors, the smells, the magic.
Yeah, asking about the Fade.
Sorry, it's just so exciting. You went into the Fade. If you have time, Inquisitor, do tell.
You seemed excited that I fell into the Fade at Adamant.
Excited? Spring gets me excited. This is a wonder. It's probably hard to relate, but dwarves don't dream. So I can't even guess what it's like. I can't even understand what dreams are. But you were there. And came back. Can I take a sample?
A sample?
Oh, that sounded sinister. I meant, can I cut a little piece off of you and do things to it?
Yeah, maybe not.
Sound better, did it?
No, it did not.
You'll have a full report of everything I saw. Will that do?
It's a start. I'm sorry, it's just... This is exciting. It all is. Your people cleaned you up after your fall. I wonder if anything is left. So much to think about.
He is a tiny little psychopath. We're actually stuck in quite a little bit of a middle ground kind of situation here, in terms of things to do. The war table is all on super extended missions now, and we're running out of locations. But I'm not going to do the DLCs yet, and so, let's see. Destroy Adamant, you're at 1 hour and 30 for that. Marquis has 20 minutes left. And you still have 5.5 hours. Oh boy. So we did that, we did that, we did that. We investigated the Elven Glyphs. That's Empress de Leon. This is the Emerald Graves. And then this is... where is it? This. Venatory activity in the west. We should probably get on that in terms of everything we do actually have left to do, because we did the Source of the Darkspawn, we did the Western Approach. The Shards is for later, when we actually collect all of them, which we're not that far away from being done with, actually. So we should probably go here to the big expansive desert. Liliana's spies have discovered orders from the Venatori's high-ranking commanders. A large number of mages are traveling westward to excavate something of great value to our cause. The Inquisition must find whatever its enemies are searching for. The region is vast, but Liliana is ready to put her network to use in tracking down Corypheus's minions. The Venatori are sending some of their best scholars into the wilderness. Let us discover precisely where they are heading. This area is a big giant Chungus desert with lots and lots of stuff to do. The Venatori are camped in a place known as the Hissing Wastes. They're working their slaves to death, digging old buildings out from the sand. The Inquisition should step in quickly, because if it doesn't, I'm going to bash the Venatori's heads in, and you'll need a new scout. Lead Scout Harden. Oh. No better than to piss that woman off. The Hissing Waste actually has one of the most important merchants in the entire game, though, so we do want to go here. Varric is looking much happier now after the card game and Bianca's visit. I love that all these cards change depending on what happens. It is very cool. So Cassandra, Vivian, and Solus will take the good old God Squad. And then I think by the time I'm done with this place, I'm going to revisit some crafting, I think. Or I might wait until we do one of the first parts of the expansions for that tier 4 or 5 material. Maybe. We'll see. I do want to do the DLCs before we go into Halam Shirel, because that'll keep everything where it's supposed to be. We won't end up waiting for like 15 episodes in between Halam Shirel and then facing Corypheus.
If there's nothing valuable here, I say let Corypheus have it.
That is not how you talked about that during the war table. What happened to step in before you go bashing heads and we lose you?
Corypheus wouldn't send out his followers unless it was worth it.
I did find something for you. Old dwarven ruins on the surface. Impossible, but there you go. The Venatori are excavating them with the help of their slaves.
Whatever they want, we must beat them to it.
I just saw Venatori northwest of here. They might be a good start. I found this map on a dead one. Maybe it shows where they're headed. Good luck.
That's an ocularum, right? And 4 pillars, and at the base of it is something that we need. Sketch of 4-pillar tomb.
This might interest you, sir.
What is it?
This may be worthwhile.
Yeah, this is a pretty map, but it is also a gigantic map, so let's restock some of these regens up. Do we all have? We do all have. I like that. So let's make sure that everybody has some regen things. You know what I might do is we should probably be chucking in some of these here and there, right? Instantly healing allies within for 289 health. Healing Mist sounds kind of disgusting. Oh, I put that on King Sarah. Damn it. Thought that was only counting for people that were in my party. I'm paying attention to that. It's fine, we have plenty of spindleweed. We have like 30 of it. And I got restocked on my regens. Oh boy. Yeah, so this map, very big, very chungus. And the closest camp we have is going to be in this direction. But we also have all of these rifts and things along the way as well, so Neverite, that is tier 3 perhaps, I think. Might be tier 3, I'm not entirely sure. But lots of goodies here. So much so that I am not going to ride my mount while we explore. I'm going to do it all on foot, so I'll probably do a lot of editing in this location as we go to and fro. Look at how pretty the skybox is here though. This is a very beautiful area. Yeah, I am a fan. Skybox also gets super interesting here when you consider that Thedas and the planet that it is on is technically inside the Mass Effect universe. And mages probably use dark energy to make all that thing happen, because there's a little read-up on one of the planets in Mass Effect in the Milky Way galaxy. Pretty cool. Now, of course, in between us doing episodes here,
Well, it doesn't want for sand.
I will
Are
edit.
those lights in the distance? They may be
Looks
campfires.
like it right there.
Let's have a look.
Oh. He meant those that spawned in right as I looked. Yeah, I will edit a lot of this and do things in between episodes, because it's gigantic. But, that being said, we will do a fair chunk of exploring in the videos themselves too. I need you a spellbinder. Yeah, you're the one. You're the one that goes first. Good lord. That never gets old. When throw everything hits, it hits. It just doesn't always hit like that, but when it does, it makes a mess. Surprised there isn't any codex here, or letters from the Venatori on what they were doing, but that's proof that there is a presence. I'm excited to grab the poison weapons attribute, actually, to see how that starts hitting, too, because that'll buff our sunders. That little poison tree on the left side of that skill tree, that buffs sunder, too, and we are sundering with throwing knives. I might end up taking away explosive shot just to get the poison stuff, because this is my meat and potatoes anyways. I could probably respec and get rid of this and put those points in. It would take the ability for us to shatter targets away, but, I mean, do we really need to be shattering them with explosive shot when I could be bouncing off their face with this for like 50,000 damage? Yeah, you guys moving again, or are you... No, they're teleporting. Okay. Yeah, this area takes a long time to do if you want everything. Which we do. But lucky for you, you don't have to watch me do the whole thing. You just get to watch the important parts. The hell are you? Wyvern poison glands? That didn't strike me as a wyvern, but... And also, what are you? Are you like a chantry cleric? Runaway slave?
Greetings.
Ours shall be the burden of knowledge, to take into the earth and prove us worthy.
I did not expect to find a pilgrim here. A chanter even less.
The righteous shall carry the Maker's word to every corner of his house.
Okay, well, Godspeed with all that. Don't get eaten by a dragon. There's gonna be a lot of things like what you see ahead, glowing lights in the distance and dwarven statues all over the place. Lots of things to distract you from whatever it is you thought you were about to do. Volcanic Aura. Well, this looks like a statue of 4 pillars to me.
Better take a closer look.
Bottle of Thedas. There are some braziers. And this is absolutely the 4-pillar thing, right? That we got the map of where the Venatori was supposed to be heading here, and there's lots of those braziers around on the walls. What is this place? The empty square, an open tomb, has eroded over the centuries, carved into the stone, almost too faint to see. It's a bas-relief of an enormous helmeted dwarf flanked by 2 smaller dwarves marching out of a mountain under a beaming sun. Bars like non-Canary, is that what that means? Well, I think we found the place where we'll be wrapping this episode on up to take care of this tomb, actually. There is a little puzzle here with the fade lanterns to get it open, and then probably, I imagine, a significant section on the other side of it. So I'm going to split this one on up here in the square. I was hoping to make it to a camp, but then I saw the lights and I got sidetracked, and now here we are on the main part of the area. So thank you for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and a comment on your way out, and I will see you soon with whatever this tomb is. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Ciao.